Welcome back to another episode of Sean and Ed's Do Baseball.
I'm Sean.
And I'm Ed's.
And we are doing the baseball history.
That's right, we're a bi-weekly baseball history podcast where the story catcher doesn't know what the story pitcher is out on the mound throwing them.
And that doesn't exactly work, but it works for us.
It works for us, and we're not changing now because it's just been too damn long.
That's right. So as you are enjoying spring training at this point in the year, just imagine if catchers and pitchers couldn't communicate with each other and how fucked up that'd be.
Yeah.
But regardless,
our metaphor is from a bygone era.
Exactly. Where can people find us online, Edsy?
People can find us somewhere along the social media or whatever it is, at Doing Baseball or at Doing.Baseball. If you try one of those, wherever you're looking for us, I'm sure you'll find us. So please do. And wherever you're listening, thank you for listening, and give us a rating or a review or a comment or maybe a story suggestion if you have one, and
a follow.
Yeah, of course.
All of those things. Well, we appreciate you out there listening, and we appreciate Two Loons Brewing. Two Loons Brewing is our wonderful podcast sponsor, and you can find their delightful beers and lager and IPA at your local LCBO. You can find them at twoloonsbrewing.com and on all the social medias as well. Two Loons Brewing. It's really good beer, and it's getting warmer out, so grab yourself a Two Loons today.
Yeah, it'd be a perfect time to enjoy it. And when you do enjoy, please be of legal drinking age. And of course, enjoy responsibly.
Yep. And Edsy, I think we're ready, and I'm ready to start this game, and I'm not exactly excited to share this one with you today.
Okay.
It's
you kind of alluded to me that it was gonna descend quickly.
I can't believe this story. I'm a dad as well. I can't. Fuck, man. Yeah, let's get through this today.
Yeah. We're going to get through this with everybody here today. So,
and we're going to start off by talking about Pablo Neftali Cruz.
Okay.
He was born March 21st, 1947, near Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic. And Cruz was born on a vegetable and sugarcane farm and had 13 brothers and sisters.
All right. That's a big, big family. I thought you were going to say he was born on a vegetable, which makes no sense. But anyway, carry on. I don't know why my brain went there. We've been doing a lot of recording today.
We have. It's been a long day. But his family moves to the city of San Francisco de Marquis, and the family was deeply religious. And Cruz grew up loving two things, and that is God and baseball. So for a Caribbean kid, in the Dominican Republic, he had one team that he wanted to play for, and that was the team that Roberto Clemente played for. And Clemente is Puerto Rican, but
right,
regionally,
he was a hero to many Hispanic players, I'm sure.
Yeah. And Cruz would tell Sports Illustrated, and I quote, "I always prayed to God that I would play for the Pirates."
All right. He might not say that today, but anyway.
At the time.
Yeah, at the time.
Well, in 1964, Pittsburgh scout Howie Hack held a tryout for 13 teenagers, and Cruz attended. Hack offered contracts to just 3 of the players for only a few $100s each, and the only one to agree to the terms was Pablo Cruz.
All right. He was motivated, though.
Oh, yeah. So it's his boyhood dream come true. He signs with the Pittsburgh Pirates as a shortstop in 1965, and it's his first of many stops with the Bucks was in Gastonia, North Carolina. Mm-hmm. He made his pro debut with the Single-A Gastonia Pirates, and Cruz spoke no English and was 18 years old in a country completely foreign to him.
That would be difficult.
Yeah.
Especially in the 60s.
Well, yeah, and he's just, even now, regardless, you're...
True.
Well, now at least you're connected via, phones and stuff like that. Yeah, it's fucked up that they used to do that. We get to that. He's kind of a good person. Anyways, that year he played 100 games and got just under 400 plate appearances, where he hit just 219 with 5 home runs, 10 doubles, and 3 triples. But he was just 18, and Cruz looked to have a plus glove up the middle of the diamond, and unfortunately, though, the teenager made 50 errors in 100 games.
Oh, man.
So they're like, oh, he's got a glove, and he's not even doing that.
That's too bad.
All would be forgotten, though, the next season, as Cruz busted out in over 500 plate appearances in a redo year for Gastonia. He hit .313 with a .890 OPS, with 54 steals on top of that.
Damn.
He also walked 5 more times than he struck out that season.
That's good.
In 113 games, and he was now splitting time between shortstop and second base, probably due to the 50 errors in 100 games.
Right.
After doing that, at 19, the Pirates decided to promote him to Double-A to play for the Macon Peaches in the Southern League. Some in the organization may have thought they had a potential stud on their hands.
Okay.
They were wrong.
I figured they were wrong. But, so he's down in Georgia now.
Yeah, and Pablo Cruz would go on to do many amazing things in the game of baseball. But from a modern-day statistical standpoint, the 1966 season in Gastonia was as good as it would get for Pablo Cruz. Still, despite a down year with the Peaches the next year, and a demotion back to Single-A, this time with Salem at the age of 21, Pablo Cruz stuck with the Pirates and rose again through the system. He would reach AAA Columbus Jets by the age of 23 and have a rebound year with the AA York Pirates in 1969, or after a rebound year with the AA York Pirates in 1969, where he hit .289. Though all the power he had in that one year
It's fizzled out?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he gets to AAA, and he's as close to the big leagues as you can get. But I should take note, his main position was still shortstop and second base, and the Pirates were very good. Like dynasty.
Yeah.
Good.
Right.
So even with Cruz climbing all the way through the organization, the Pirates had a couple guys named Gene Alley and Bill Mazeroski.
All right. Well, that makes it tough to break through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he would tell the Athletics' John Lott in 2016, it was a little problem at the time for me. Even though I was doing good, we have Bill Mazeroski, Gene Alley. They make a lot of money, and we were winning.
Right. So you're not going to fuck with success.
No. And they were winning, Eds, as the Pirates would finish first place from 1970 to 1972, and win it all, of course, in 1971.
Uh-huh.
Cruz was absolutely blocked by an aging, well-paid veteran in Gene Alley, but despite solid numbers in AAA, he didn't force the Pirates' hand. In 1970, Cruz hit .269 with a 348 on-base percentage, as he once again walked more than he struck out. Mm-hmm. But he had 0 home runs in 547 plate appearances.
Ooh, that's not very good. So you're right. He has no power.
And his speed is once again, like, remember he had 54 stolen bases? Now he just has 15, and he's 15 for 22.
Okay.
So not great.
Not very good, no.
After another year in AAA, this time with the amazingly named Charleston Charlies, Pablo hit just .228 with a .590 OPS in 67 games.
All right, so he's struggling in the minors, so...
Yeah, he begins to fall through the organization, and he never will make it.
So he never gets to realize his dream, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, but he found a good home in none other than Sherbrooke, Quebec.
All right, that was a turn.
Cruz would play 2 years for the AA Sherbrooke Pirates and became a crowd favorite. He recalled to John Lott in 2016 about the fans in Sherbrooke. They sing, "Oh, Pablo, Pablo Cruz," every time I come up to hit. Okay. In the same article, he spoke fondly of his time there, saying, "I'll never forget that. Good people. Too cold. I didn't like the cold weather, but the people are good."
Yeah, well, I guess it would seem cold compared to
Charleston.
Yeah, I was going to say
Dominican.
Compared to the Dominican, but
so
where is Sherbrooke?
It's like north. It's in between Montreal and Quebec City, I'm pretty sure.
Right.
Yeah. I am sure it was a nice land.
Actually,
Where?
it's pretty well due east of Montreal
Yes.
and due south of Quebec City.
Ah, okay.
So it's not really between them. It's actually closer to Maine and Vermont.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, still
Anyway.
cold.
Yeah.
So he's 25 years old, and he's possibly coming to the realization that he may never play for the big league club. With that, Cruz decided to move in a different direction. Despite his playing career on the downtrend, the Pirates organization loved Cruz and began to prep him to become a manager.
Okay. That's a smart pivot on his part, I guess.
Yeah, well, he doesn't like that idea.
Oh, he doesn't like that. It's
Yeah.
not his idea.
It's not his idea, and he would tell John Lott, I say, if I am a manager, I'm not going to be with my family. I chose scouting. God bless me a lot. I not only did scouting, I also did development.
Okay.
So he's just like, fuck that.
I don't understand how, like, why wouldn't you be with your family if you're a manager?
Because he's got to be in the U.S. the whole season.
I guess so, but he's got to do that too. I mean, I guess that's a price he's willing to pay if he's a player.
Well, yeah, if he's a player.
Okay.
But at the same point, I think he was just like, you know what? Like, I'd rather just move back to Dominican and just be a scout.
And
as
tell you
opposed
about guys that are good.
Well, and
for
then
your
you gotta
organization.
but
Yeah.
think about it. You gotta rise up the ranks as a manager too. You gotta start in single A and double A. Like
True.
there's no guarantee of. So he's like, fuck it. I just want to go back home. But he continues to play for the Pirates from 1974 through the organization from 1974 through 1978. But his role was different. He played on the field during the year, but in the off season he became a scouting assistant to the man who had signed him, Howie Hack.
Okay.
And if you don't know who Howie Hack is, he was the man who persuaded the Pirates to pluck Roberto Clemente from the Dodgers in 1954 during the Rule 5 draft.
All right.
So he was the...
So he's a good scout.
He's the original, Latin American...
Yeah.
He's the guy that went down there and found all these players, right?
Uh-huh.
Including Pablo Cruz.
Right.
Even though Cruz never made the majors.
Uh-huh.
And Cruz would become a legendary scout of his own.
All right.
Yeah, he would find, he signed more than 40 players who reached the big leagues, including Moises Alou, Jose Guillen, Tony Pena, Ronnie Polino, Pascual Perez, Rafael Belliard, Felix Fairman, and Aramis Ramirez.
That's quite a stable.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Cruz scouted for the Pirates for more than 2 decades before moving on to the Padres, Expos, Nationals, Mets, and then back to the Pirates before being hired by the Blue Jays in 2012. In 2016, he won International Scout of the Year after the Blue Jays signed, of course, Vladdy.
Oh, all right.
But
Interesting.
we're not here to talk
It's
about...
weird. I've never heard of this guy before.
Well,
today.
let's say you might have read some passing article on Sportsnet or The Athletic about him in the past.
Yeah, probably.
But what you probably didn't see mentioned in any of those, and he is quite the accomplished scout, but we're going to talk about Pablo Cruz because we're here to talk about Alfredo Edmead. Alfredo Edmead Jr. was born to Almeida and Alfredo Edmead in Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic in 1956.
Okay.
Alfredo Jr. was an extremely bright kid who was clearly talented on the field and off the field as well. At 17, he was a medical student at Santo Domingo Autonomous University. On top of his studies, his talent on the baseball field earned him a spot in center field for the Dominican Republic All-Star team in the Central American and Caribbean Games in 1973, where he won a silver medal.
Wow. Okay.
So he's a 17-year-old medical student who's playing center field for the Dominican team.
What a life some people lead, man.
Howie Hack, the aforementioned legendary scout,
Uh-huh.
was right on his trail.
Of course.
So, Hack had created a name for himself scouting backfields in Latin America and bringing out the players such as Joe DeLeon, Tony Aramis Sr., and Manny Sanguillen. Most of the players that Hack signed were not the 16-year-old Vladdy comparison we see today. Organizations back then, especially, and even today, take advantage of the poverty, and even the most talented players were often offered a few $100 US to sign with the team.
Right. Yeah. Which is shitty.
Very shitty.
But yeah.
But Alfredo Edmead Jr. was different. Not only did the kid have exposure from playing on the Dominican Republic All-Star team, but he also had a fucking medical career in front of him if he chose not to sign.
Okay.
So either way, Hack
So
knew.
he's got options.
He's got options. So instead of a few $100s, Hack and the Pirates offer him $15,000.
Okay. That's better, but that's still not a lot compared to what we're kind of used to in this day.
No, but even then, it's the largest bonus for a Latin American ball player in history.
Right.
So at the time, it's worth it.
What year is this again?
73.
Okay.
Yeah. 73. Maybe going into 74. But either way, it's around that time, early 70s, mid 70s. So it's $15,000. And it's worth it in Hack's eyes. Even in decades later, he would say, Alfredo Edmead was the best prospect I ever saw.
Okay. And he's seen a lot of prospects, so that's great praise.
Are you looking up how much?
I'm looking it up. That's just shy of $100,000.
Okay. Well,
95,991.
Okay. Well, not nearly as much as I thought it was, but also, yeah, but at the time, that's the biggest one ever.
Right.
So even with the amount of money on the table, Edmead's parents were unsure, and Hack turned to Pablo Cruz.
Okay.
Cruz was a fellow countryman and, of course, a loyal foot soldier to the Pirates organization, and he did everything he could to get Edmead signed. Cruz had hit .284 in 73 games with AA Sherbrooke the year earlier and had his best season since he was 19. But instead of seeking a promotion, Cruz promised Alfredo Jr.'s mother and family that he would stay alongside Alfredo and keep him safe. This promise to the family put the deal past the finish line, and the Edmead family agreed to the $15,000 signing bonus.
All right.
It was Hack who had got credit for the deal, but it was, in the end, just as much Pablo Cruz signing. In doing so, Cruz demoted himself from AA to single A, in that he promised the family that he would...
Yeah, so he could be with this kid, basically.
Yeah. Without his sacrifice and promise to the Edmead's family, they may not have agreed to sign.
Right. I was going to sort of summarize it there a bit. So they were skeptical, and then they got this trusted dude to basically be like, I'll stick with him the whole way.
Yeah, he's like 26. He's like, I've played for the Pirates organization for 7 years, and they're going to take care of him. And you know what? Like, wherever he's assigned, I'm assigned.
Okay.
And that puts it past the finish line.
Right.
So the Pirates had their guy, and he proved quickly how good he was. They sent him to single A, which was a pretty aggressive assignment for a 18-year-old guy, considering the average was like 21 years old in that league.
Right. Most guys are going to rookie ball and stuff like that at that point, or low A even.
Yeah, but it went extremely well.
All right.
Salem manager John Lipton described Edmead as so very smart and said, and I quote, I knew then that he had God-given talent. He just hit the ball hard all spring, line drive after line drive.
Okay. So they're impressed.
Yeah. Steve Nicosia, the catcher with the team that year, would say to Sports Illustrated's Tom Verducci, and I quote, there was nothing he couldn't do. He was left-handed hitter who was fast as lightning. Great outfielder, great arm, pop in his bat, could hit for average and power. He was one of those rare five-tool guys.
All right. So they've got a diamond in the rough, so to speak.
So, opening day 1974. He is not just the youngest guy on his team, he is the youngest player in the whole league.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
You said before he was like 3 years below league average, so.
And at 18, he fucking just smashes the ball.
Okay.
In June, Edmead...
Sounds very Vladdy-esque.
Oh, God, yeah. In June, Edmead and fellow countryman McGill Dillon were featured in a story in the Sporting News entitled Salem Swings with 400 Dominican Duo. In 38 games, Edmead was hitting .396 with 30 runs, 26 RBIs, and 24 stolen bases.
Holy shit.
Alfredo admitted in the article even he didn't expect to start as well as he did and had doubts early in the year that he'd stick.
Mm-hmm. Well, Not now, I guess.
Sticky did, right?
Yeah.
Edmead would hit 314 with an 825 OPS that year across 119 games. He was everything the organization hoped he could be. Lightning quick in the outfield, and on the base pass he had 61 stolen bases on top of 7 triples.
Holy moly. I mean, I know it was kind of an era where there was a lot more base stealing. They were taking more risks on the base pass, but still, that is damn impressive.
Yep, and everyone is seeing it. So Pirates general manager Pete Peterson.
What a name.
Wow, it was Harding Pete Peterson, but yes.
Okay.
Called Edmead, and I quote, the best young hitter in our farm system. He played all out and never shied away from difficult plays, chasing down balls in the outfield he had no business of catching. He's playing right field. I know for Dominican he played center field, but he's mainly playing right field.
Okay.
Pablo Cruz, at 27, was having a great year in single A, as you would expect from a 27-year-old.
Yeah, I guess so. So he's playing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought
playing.
he was just like, being like a team director or whatever, and he was just following around, kind of being like a liaison or whatever. I got you.
He is playing, and he is hitting 326 and getting on base nearly at a 400 clip.
Damn.
Of course, he was older than most of the competition by like half a decade.
Yeah.
But fucking up some 21-year-old pitcher's day and being the old man of the clubhouse just kind of worked with him. Everybody liked him. He was just in a good spot.
He's I know he's not a catcher, but he's like the Crash Davis of the team.
But he kind of knows he's never making the big leagues at this point for the most part.
Right.
And he's just being a good organizational dude, just kind of set himself up for the next role that he's going to get, right? There's other young Dominican players in the clubhouse too. And remember when he just got sent and he just had to do it on his own as an 18-year-old? So I think he's really happy that he can kind of guide all these. He's a great dude. Pablo Cruz is a great man. Another episode where I'm like, this guy's wicked.
Yeah.
He was just there to take care of these guys and make sure they developed into. But he also played second base and hit 326. So
all right, well there you go.
So the catcher Nicosia would say, and I quote, "I don't even think we had an assistant coach. Pablo was like an assistant to Johnny Lippin. He was our senior mentor. We had a lot of Spanish-speaking guys, and he was a father to them."
Great fellow.
Yeah. So his role seemed to work as all the Dominican players seemed to flourish, probably feeling more at home than Cruz ever did in his first time to single A. Cruz hit amazingly, and his time at shortstop, although his time at shortstop had come to an end, he's playing second base pretty regularly and had gotten knee surgery in the offseason. So he's playing second base 99% of the time, and he's got a big metal 1970s sports brace on his knee.
Okay.
Yeah, but he's hitting. He's good.
Bet you that's a little cumbersome.
Yeah. As Edmead approached the end of his first year in pro ball, he wrote to his parents telling them to prepare for a celebration so they could all party together when he returned home at the end of the season. On August 20th, he had been told by manager Johnny Lippin that he had been selected for the Carolina League All-Star team. On top of his personal success, the Salem Pirates were as good as any team could be, finishing with a 86-51 record.
Damn.
And winning the Carolina League for the third year in a row.
Right. Well, geez, with a record like that, I would find it hard to believe that someone else would be that comparable. Anyway.
Unfortunately, Alfredo Edmead would not be there to celebrate the finish of the season.
Oh, God.
And he would not make it home to party with his parents that year either. No matter the record, the 1974 season for Salem would be remembered by one simple play on August 22nd, 1974. A pop fly in the fifth inning.
Pop fly? That's not what I was expecting.
On August 22nd...
Based on the sort of foreshadowing you're doing here.
Oh, God.
And your tone.
This sucks.
Okay.
It's an
August
evening
22nd,
game.
74.
There is less than 1,000 people at this game, Edsy. The Bucks were taking on the Rocky Mount Phillies. We're taking on the Rocky Mount Phillies in the waning days of the 74 season. Alfredo started off the game the way you'd imagine. A hard-hit single, followed by back-to-back stolen bases, to turn his single into a triple in just 2 pitches.
Wow.
Yes, he's Ricky Henderson.
Yeah.
It would be Alfredo Edmead's last hit. Salem was ahead 6-0 in the top of the 5th, I should say, when Phillies pitcher Murray Gage Cole came to bat against the young John Candelaria. Gage Cole hit a shallow pop fly to right field. Alfredo Edmead took off and sprinted in on the ball as Pablo Cruz at second base knew it would be a duff play, but drop stepped back into shallow right, head twisted up into the night sky. The two were fixated on the ball, running at full speed. First baseman Tom Prasich realized just before they did that they were on collision course.
Oh, no. Like the kid and his mentor.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Kid coming from right field, mentor playing second base.
Yes. Both running forwards?
No, running backwards. A pop fly. It's a little Texas
Right,
leader.
so he's backing up.
Yeah,
at second. And the other guy's
Cruz is backing
okay.
up. Alfredo's coming in. He told The Athletic in 2009, as Alfredo went down to catch it, he was bending over. Cruz hit him in the forehead with his knee. He paused and then added softly, "It wasn't a good sight."
No, it doesn't sound good.
First base umpire Delvis McCaden said, and I quote, "I remember Cruz calling out Edmead's name, asking him to wake up. Then I remember him saying things in Spanish. I was standing there maybe 3 or 4 feet away, and I could see blood from both his mouth and nose. I know they pronounced him dead in the hospital, but I thought he was dead right there on the field."
Oh, my God. It must have been a hell of a collision.
Yeah. The catcher, Steve Nicosia, and this gets even more graphic as we go, people. And I quote, "We didn't even have a trainer back then. On the other team had a trainer who came out to the field. When they turned his head, the whole side of it was caved in. He had blue and yellow material coming out his nose. What is that? They told me that's his brains. We knew he was dead right there."
God. Jesus fucking Christ. So he caved in his skull is what you're telling me.
I think he went lurching forward and diving for the ball and just went
and
full speed.
Timed it so he was running.
So the guy's knee basically just it was like a knee to the head of somebody running full speed at the knee.
Yeah.
There's murkiness in which knee hit Edmead's head as he went balls for the wall.
I don't think that's
catch.
relevant.
No, okay, good. I included this, and I agree.
Yeah.
But remember, there's the knee brace.
Oh, right. Okay. I didn't remember that, but now I do, and now it makes sense.
Well, but that is the thing. So Phillies pitcher, the guy who hit the pop fly, Jim Marepool, said in September 7th, 1974 issue of the Sporting News, and I quote, "Cruz was seated on the ground rolling up his pant leg, still very much in pain. And when we saw he had a knee brace, the old-fashioned kind, with steel braces on each side. That damn steel had been like an axe to Edmead's head."
Holy fuck.
If you ask Pablo Cruz, which I don't want to discount his agency in this, he contests saying that Edmead's head had struck his unbraced right knee.
I don't, neither would be good, but okay, I see.
It doesn't matter.
It's
which
not
knee.
relevant, yeah.
Alfredo Edmead died on the field that night.
Yeah. That's fucked up.
Yeah, it took about 15 minutes for paramedics to arrive. Some fans were unaware of how serious the incident was, and of course were like, "Get him off the field."
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Let's continue game. Let's continue playing here.
Yeah.
I've paid money for this game.
And the game continued.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so they take him out. The grounds crew hosed down the right fielder's blood off the outfield grass, and the teams finished the game. It wasn't until after that they found out that he had died.
Right.
But
this is I'm a wrestling fan.
Yeah.
This is reminding me of the 1999 pay-per-view where Owen Hart fell from the roof and died.
Yes.
And they just
allegedly
kept going for the show with his blood in the corner of the ring.
It's fucked up.
Yeah.
There's a story in the New York Times that read, and I quote, "Both players were rushed to the hospital, and Edmead was pronounced dead on arrival. The cause of death was listed as a massive skull fracture. Cruz is injured a knee and will be out for the rest of the year."
Yeah, he's got an injured knee and a broken spirit.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
He's destroyed, as you that was my next sentence. Pablo Cruz is the young man he'd promised to keep safe was now dead because of an innocent play. It's not his fault. But he was just oh. So somehow he continued to play baseball for the next few years, but he would say, every time I would play second base, I would cry.
Oh, man. Yeah. It would traumatize the fuck out of you.
In 2019, he was still clearly distraught by the memory. He told The Athletic, and I quote, "He was such a great ball player. I still carry it with me after all these years. I feel very uncomfortable every time I have to share the story. I respect the family, and I respect Alfredo Edmead. I'd rather not talk about it anymore." Which...
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
But, of course, people continued to ask. A few years later, he would tell Sports Illustrated. He'd open up a little bit more to Sports Illustrated. And I quote, "It still hurts. I pray for him every day. It's been more than 40 years. People respectfully ask me about him, about that day, but I have not talked about it many times."
No, I can imagine how you wouldn't want to. That would, he was his friend.
Yeah. So... And again, Salem finishes the season. They only give the players one day off.
Man. God. Owners suck.
Yeah. And Pablo Cruz would stay in Salem for another 4.5 years, though.
Uh-huh.
He mentored young Spanish-speaking players and developed his eye for talent. The Pirates would promote him once again up to AAA to finish the 1978 season before he called it quits on the field at age 31. At first, he was bitter about his role with the Pirates in his later playing days, but just like in Quebec, he became the most popular player in Salem. Mm-hmm. He would say, and I quote, "Salem are good people. If I can't go to the big leagues, I prefer to stay here all my life."
Okay.
Cruz did eventually move on from Salem, and he would become one of the greatest scouts of all time, taking over the Caribbean from Howard Hack for Pittsburgh. He has been helping teams find talent for over 40 seasons, and his son Ishmael, grandsons Brian and Jonathan are also big league scouts. A plaque was mounted at the field where Edmead died, and it stood there for decades until it was transported up the hill to the Salem Roanoke Valley Baseball Hall of Fame, located just outside Memorial Stadium, in order to get it more exposure.
Okay. That's a nice gesture, I guess.
Yeah, and 40 years after his death, when the plaque was moved to its new home, Alfredo's niece, Sugi Edmead, threw out the first pitch at Salem Red Sox game in her uncle's memory.
Okay, well, is that it? That's the story?
That's the youngest player to die on the field in professional baseball.
My God, Sean, you said that was going to fall off a cliff, and that fell off a cliff and punctured the ground and sunk beneath it. My God, that's a terrible story. A great story by you, but oh man, what a fucking tragedy.
I thought that might be our season opener at first, and I'm like, I don't know if this is a good season opener. Yeah. It's just devastating.
I mean, it certainly exemplifies the stories that we try and tell on this podcast, but my God, that's dark, dude.
Yeah. No, I don't think I've ever heard of that. A dude just literally a collision killing a player on the field. Mm-hmm. And I didn't believe it was real at first. I don't even know how I found this, but yeah, and just the mentor and pupil aspect of it.
Yeah, there's so many factors to that story that, I mean, the death itself is bad enough, but the fact of how it happened just makes it that much worse.
Yep. It was real bad, but rest in peace, Alfredo Edmead, and who knows what could have been, but just yeah.
Man, that's somber.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No,
I don't even know how to
fine.
end this.
That's fine. Yeah. Yeah. So after hearing that story, everybody out there, go and hug your families and, in reflection, appreciate
Listen to the
every
San
day that
Diego
you have.
Chicken.
Yeah.
Listen to the San Diego Chicken episode. That's fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, till next time, find us on the internet at Doing Baseball or Doing.Baseball. Follow us, give us a review, give us a rating.
And thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening. Go be with your friends and family. Enjoy life. And RIP.
Yeah. And until next time.
I'm Sean.
And I'm Eds.
We're doing the baseball.
Yeah. Okay. Bye.